welcome back to another episode of From the Ground Up. I am Bianca Miller-Cole, serial award-winning entrepreneur, Sunday Times best-selling author and business mentor, but also the founder of this phenomenal skincare brand, Hian Skin by Bianca Miller London. And it has been an incredible journey building this brand from the ground up. I'd like to thank you all for being on this journey with me. And today we're going to be talking about sales. Now, it's all well and good thinking of a business idea and doing all of the work to prepare that business for it to be launched. Then you have to get to that all-important stage where you actually have to sell some products, right? And that is an important stage because, look, we're in business, of course, to be able to solve a problem, to be able to help our customer, and in my case, to help people have much better skin with natural products without all the toxins and to take them on that journey of being more confident. But we're also in this business to make money. And in order for a business to be sustainable, it does need to make money. It is the reality, right? And so therefore, sales are really important. And I am a firm believer in building a multifaceted sales approach, i.e., it is not a good idea to rely solely on one thing to generate you sales. And I think that's a really important part of today's episode. And we're going to focus in on how you build lots of different strategies that are going to help you to achieve your ultimate goal. Now, let me preface this by saying, along the journey of being in business, there will be times where things don't go to plan and you will have to pivot. And I've said throughout this series that I will be very honest with you about when things go well and when things don't go so well. And so I'm going to share with you a couple of the strategies that I think are really important when you're building a business, but also some of my experiences of building this brand and getting some sales in. So first and foremost, so the first thing, I decided that I wanted to make sure that the product was available via the website. So of course, we built the website, as you will know, and we started getting in some sales, generating sales via an e-commerce strategy. That meant being able to articulate to our audience where to get the product and why they should invest in the product. So we went onto social media, of course, and we shared the product, the journey. We also shared some customer testimonials and feedback. Now, that is really important in your sales conversion because people buy from people. People want to know your product works. And so they want to be able to see other people who have tried it and they want to see what their results were. That's just human nature, right? And so therefore, we were able to get some early sales on the back of people sharing their experiences. So in a previous episode, I talked about influencer marketing. I talked about getting videos and content from friends and family and early adopters who tried the product. Now that was very important and critical to our sales success. So as a result of having that content, those assets, we were then able to put them onto social media, onto YouTube and on various platforms to make sure people could see the outcome of using the product. Now we have had phenomenal results. People's skin has changed beyond recognition, right? Their oily skin issue has disappeared. They've now rebalanced. Their dry skin issue has disappeared. It's rebalanced. People who had dark patches and marks and hyperpigmentation and so on, all had been improved. So we could showcase that the product works. That's one part of the sales strategy. Be able to create and provide social proof. Be able to showcase that your product actually works. That social proof is going to be a very important part of you building your sales. So that's number one. Number two, now that you have those customers who I like to then call raving fans, the people who know your product works and love it, give them an opportunity to earn either money or credit or more product as a result of sharing their message. So that's where we get to point two, which is of course the affiliate element. So I built on the website an affiliate section, which enabled our customers to make a residual income every time they were able to successfully refer a customer to the product. Now that, of course, is going to help you to generate additional sales. So that affiliate element is very important. Now, I also took the step of recruiting a salesperson. So I went onto Fiverr and I found Bruce and I asked him if he was able to create the sales script and also have those sales conversations with potential buyers. Now, as I said to you, I'll be honest in my journey here. Unfortunately, the relationship with Bruce didn't really work out. He put in all the effort and energy. But the reality was we didn't have the right data, i.e. the right phone numbers and points of contact for him to call to be able to get the call and the conversation we needed to convert it to sales. Now, that is a case of being able to have someone who's a salesperson understands your product, but also someone who has the right contacts. Now, that's really important. And so on the journey, there is that chance where you try something, doesn't work, and you have to pivot. Now, it's not because he wasn't good at his job and so on. We just didn't have the right people for him to make contact with. And therefore, we tried a couple of hours of his time and it just didn't work out. So I would encourage you, if you go down the route of procuring a salesperson, if you're not able to do those sales yourself, you find someone who has the relationships with those buyers in the first place, because that is definitely going to help you on the journey to getting your products into the right places. So that's the sales part. So you've got your customers who become raving fans and they provide that social proof that you need. They will also help you to have those assets to share on social media to generate more sales. Then you've got the affiliate opportunity. So get those customers to refer other customers successfully. Then, of course, you have the opportunity to get a salesperson or do those sales yourself. That means calling those buyers, building those relationships so you can look at getting your product into retail if that is what you want, okay? And then, of course, there is your network. Now, I have always said your network is your net worth. The more people you know, the communication you have with them, the friends, family, affiliates, and so on, that's going to be critical to the customer experience, but also to your brand growth strategy. And so, as we launched in October, we of course had the run up to Christmas. And so one of the major opportunities for us was that we were able to sell bulk orders to people in my network. So I had some clients who wanted to buy the product to give in hampers for their clients. I had some clients who wanted to do little sales boxes, which of course we then made a nice, sexy box with paper in it and everything to go out to their customers for Christmas. And we facilitated that, made it as easy as possible for people to be able to buy all 3 products in a gift box to send out to their friends and family and loved ones. So that is another great way for you to be able to increase the sales opportunity. Find those chances for bulk orders, but also lean on your network to be able to further the message. So as part of that 4th element, which of course is the networking segment, I also reached out to people who had a network that was bigger than mine or an alternative network. And so I did a number of IG lives and went to people's, do podcasts and so on that would enable me to share that message to a wider audience than my audience. Now, I think that is, again, really important that you think about your network, who they are, and how it can help you to widen your reach. The 5th element, I would say, is customer service and retention. Now, this again is really important. So we have a strategy where a member of my team calls all of our customers and asks them for feedback. Hey, how's it going? Any questions? Any directions that you need on how to use the product? What's your feedback so far? Now, that, of course, is a really important way to build that retention and build that rapport with your customers that's going to help your customers to keep buying from you. Okay, so I think that's really important. But that feedback also helps us to make sure that our delivery, our website is as good as possible. It helps us to get more feedback and more testimonials. And all of that is going to help you to generate more sales. Now, as I said before, I have learned, I've been in business over 11 years now. I know a fair bit about business, but I'm always learning, okay? And there are some lessons that I had to learn along the way. Of course, there was the sales scenario, having a salesperson but not having the right data. That's really important. But also that when we were working with our Amazon expert on Fiverr, and of course our social expert as well, who was helping us with the ads, one of the things that was a recurring theme that was problematic for our success in building the sales pipeline online was we didn't have enough reviews. Now, that's another thing that I think is really important to recognize. So as you build that sales rapport, as you build that rapport of your customers and you're doing the customer service piece, you want to be encouraging your customers to leave reviews. Now, there's a silly percentage. I think it's 0.01% of men and 0.08% of women leave testimonials and reviews, right? That is unfortunate. So you have to build a good enough relationship with your customers that they want to leave reviews for you, that they want to record videos, that they want to share with you their before and after pictures, that they want to go onto Amazon and the website and leave reviews and so on. And that, again, is going to be critical to your success. And I say this to you because you could spend a lot of money on ads and so on that are not converting because you don't have those things in order. And that is something that I realized was really, really important along this journey. So again, think about that social proof, but also think about the customer relationship that is going to help you to increase your sales opportunities. So here is the checklist. Do you have a sales and marketing plan? Now, I think this is really important. A lot of people out there will talk about the business plan. I'm not a big believer in having a very large and extensive business plan. In the first chapter of Self-Made, we talk about the business model canvas. Now, that is a condensed version of a business plan. It helps you to get out your objectives, your goal, and so on without having a long and convoluted plan. However, I do believe in having a really good sales and marketing plan. So what is your plan of action? How will you ensure that your products are going to be seen by your target audience? What do you need to do to get it out there to the world so they can see what you're all about? So build your sales and marketing plan. Number 2, how many revenue streams and business opportunities have you created for your business? Now, as you continue to build your brand, it may be a product-led brand. What are the other opportunities that you might have to enable you to build those additional revenue streams? How can you ensure that you have built enough streams in your business to make sure that you are consistently able to earn multiple streams of income? Now, I think that's really important in business. I don't like to rely solely on just being able to sell products. What are the other things that are relevant to that brand that's going to enable you to make additional income? Number 3, what are your distribution plans? Now, this is really important as you go on that sales strategy route, okay? If you're being strategic, you have to think, how do I distribute this product? So there are various ways to work on distribution. There are, of course, in an earlier episode, we looked at logistics. So distribution might be, if you've got the sales coming in from your website, how are you distributing that product? But it also might be distribution via retail. So what retailers should you be approaching if you decide to go into retail, and have you got the right margin to do so? But it also might be distribution by way of distributing information about your brand on social media with similar audiences and so on. How do you ensure that your distribution channels are aligned and you're able to get your product out to as many people as possible? And finally, are you sharing the story of your brand widely enough? Are you ensuring that people know your brand exists? Too often, I speak to my mentees who say, I've got this brand and, I'm super excited and I want it to sell really well. I've got objectives to make 100,000, 200,000, a million and so on, right? And I say, okay, well, who knows? Who have you told? And they haven't told enough people. They've not shared the message widely enough. Sometimes you could be really protective about the message, or you can be really protective about your brand because you are nervous about the fact that it may not sell what you hope it to sell. Well, the reality is you still have to push forward. You still have to get your brand out there to the masses and talk about it as much as possible. Don't be afraid to keep talking about your brand. Find different ways to talk about it. Find different ways to encourage other people to talk about it. Always think of new content, new videos, new strategies. How do you make sure your brand is known as widely as possible and that you're speaking about it, but also that you're getting your customers and your raving fans talking about it too? The more, the merrier. You want your brand message to be out there to the masses. So that is it. That is the end of this week's episode of From the Ground Up, looking at sales and how you optimize your sales strategy. Now, I would encourage you to look at the checklist and work out how you're going to build your sales and marketing plan to ensure the success of your business. And I'd love to hear from you below. If you have any questions about your sales and marketing plan or how you're going to launch your business successfully and continue to generate additional sales, it may even be how you get over over those obstacles that may, fundamentally get in your way. It happens. We're in business, right? If that is the case, I want to see your comments below, and I will be more than happy to answer any questions that you have. Until next time, thank you very much for tuning in to From the Ground Up in association with Fiverr, and I look forward to seeing you next week when we talk about the other steps to growing your brand from the ground up.